Xin chào! We are Maui and Trizzy taking over the largest city in Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh, also known as Saigon. Join us on the enjoyment of phenomenal bites and beverages, some recommended by locals, in a tour of the city with family for a whole week. We flew in from the Philippines. The flight from Manila was about 3 hours. With the Philippines being an hour ahead, this got us in Ho Chi Minh around mid-afternoon, where we met up with the rest of the family. To get to the city, you can easily book a rideshare using the Grab app from the airport. Aside from resting, the only thing we did on arrival day was eat a family dinner at Bep Na Su Quang, a traditional Vietnamese restaurant serving flavorful family-style plates like jackfruit salad, sticky pandan rice with fried chicken wings, prawn fried rice, deep-fried spring rolls, and other notable dishes.
It's not sweet. And the water is the last one.
The following day was a self-guided walking tour. We kicked it off by strolling a local market in the morning, surviving our first street crossing experience.
Let's go! Let's go! Put your hand out! Stick your hand out! They're gonna judge us. Oh my god!
Then, fueling our bodies with none other than our first egg coffee of the trip. While Maui and the rest of the family enjoyed their coffees at a small cafe called An Coffee, Trizzy downed a blended matcha smoothie. We made our way via Grab to a breakfast spot, My Restaurant, where we indulged in traditional noodle dishes such as the widely known pho, a rice noodle soup dish with a variety of meat options, garnished with fresh veggies like cilantro, green onions, and sometimes bean sprouts. A popular dish to get was a stone pot pho.
Still boiling.
Trying to beat the forecasted rain, we kept our self-guided walking tour short with stops at the Notre Cathedral, which was under construction since 2017 and expected to finish renovation in 2027. Across the street from the cathedral is the Saigon Central Post Office, known as the Bu Dien, a gorgeous French-inspired structure with arches that functions as the actual post office. You can send your postcards to friends and family from here and also buy some souvenirs. As the rain came down, we walked 5 minutes over to the Independence Palace, also known as the Reunification Palace, where it's a popular landmark that represents the end of the Vietnam War. You can enter this building for about $2 USD and see the interior, which some parts acted as a bomb shelter. If you're wanting to shop for souvenirs, coffee, tea, clothes, or toys, the next spot we went to is the place for all that, the Thanh Market, a warehouse with rows and rows of vendors. It's very maze-like, so you may get lost. Negotiation is part of the experience here, but also optional.
Come on, man. Just say this. Happy hour, man. Come on, man.
Across the street from Thanh Market are several options for a midday coffee stop, so we decided to check out Katinat Cafe. Our unique, high-quality drinks of choice were rambutan milk tea, peach hibiscus tea, and a roasted oolong tea macchiato. The Saigon Center Mall was our dinner stop. The food options here were a variety of not just Vietnamese food, but you can find other delicacies around the world. For dinner, we went with all-you-can-eat meat and meat Korean barbecue mixed with hot pot. The self-serve buffet style feature does not disappoint. We walked off what we stuffed ourselves with at the one-way pedestrian plaza. A half-a-mile stretch to fit your evening itinerary perfectly with a nightly show at the music fountain, a statue of Ho Chi Minh, street vendors, shopping, bars, restaurants, and random street entertainment. Locals and tourists gather here to feel the liveliness. The street starts from the Ho Chi Minh City Hall and ends where the Saigon River is. Be aware of the crossing to get to this view though. We're coining this our scariest street we crossed in Saigon. The next day, our morning beverage was from 58 Coffee, before we devoured our first meal of the day at a Vietnamese-style breakfast restaurant called Chao Banh Mi. They serve a combination of eggs, sausages, pate, and sauce on a sizzling plate with baguette. Check out this vibey cafe, and cafe, where we got a variety of drinks. From An Cafe to An Spa we go. Since we were in the Philippines for 2 weeks prior, we wanted a moment for our bodies to recover with a full body massage. When our massage was done, it started raining and we picked up some dinner at the Saigon Center Mall to end the night. What caught our attention was the pho burger that McDonald's had. We thought the burger was really good and spot on to the taste of pho broth. The following day, we did our first guided tour to the Mekong Delta. Midway through the shuttle ride, we made a pit stop to pick up banh mi's from Bao Minh Cafe and Banh Mi 48. If you're not familiar with what a banh mi is, it's a Vietnamese sandwich with mayo, meat spread, pickled vegetables, and meat. The rain came down as we were arriving at the town of Notre, also where the docking area of our boat tour was. We received ponchos in an attempt to stay dry. Our type of boat was called a sampan. It's a larger version than the traditional Vietnamese boats. This took us over parts of the Mekong Delta. Through the subtle waves, we witnessed floating markets and villages where people lived and grew their agriculture on the water. Once we crossed the river, we learned about the honey production at the Ba Chin honey farm. We sat for a while to drink some tea accompanied with honey, lime, sesame seed, and hot water. Part of the tour was a taste test of what they call the Queen Bee's only food source, royal jelly, known to be very nutritious and was available for purchase.
The bee, how do you milk the queen bee?
To get to our next activity, we hopped on a golf cart. Zooming through villages to get to a spot where we ate fresh fruits grown in the village. As we snacked, we enjoyed the live entertainment of traditional music. Afterwards, our party split up in several small wooden boats, chauffeured and guided by a local. Who led us to a bigger boat where we reunited to head over to the Kaizwa coconut candy factory. We got to sample a piece of the creamy candy and see how it's made. The coconut is split open to shred the meat on the inside, then squeezed into milk, mixed with natural syrup and sugar, and stirred until it turns taffy-like. Here, you can purchase a pack of coconut candy. Thinking our last small boat ride as a group was the end of the tour, we couldn't be more wrong. It only took us to eating more. Our hefty lunch included a whole fish, a huge rice ball, some egg rolls, prawns, fried rice, and a beef dish. Lunch was our last stop around the river, but as we head back to the Mi Ta town to get back on our shuttle bus, we had one more stop to visit. The Vinh Trang Pagoda, a famous Buddhist temple that was built in 1849 in the Mi Phong village. With beautiful bonsai trees around the temple grounds, the pagoda also includes 3 large Buddhas, laughing, reclining, and standing. The architecture is a combination of European Asian influence, with light, vibrant colors creating a unique and fresh look for a Buddhist temple. Although we experienced this temple on a gloomy day, it was still a beautiful attraction to visit and a great last stop of the tour before we head back to Ho Chi Minh City. The next day, we booked ourselves another spa day after a morning cafe run and donut craving. We got a manicure, pedicure, and a full body massage at Tin Nan Vinh Spa. It was a chill day before our evening food tour, which was probably one of the best ways to experience Saigon and eat like a local. This tour was organized by XO Tours, a city and food tour involving sitting on the back of a motorbike, cruising through the wild city streets of Saigon, stopping at different districts and eating dishes most tourists wouldn't know about. Each person had their own tour guide / driver who are all females, decked out in traditional Vietnamese outfits called áo dài. First stop and first dish was at Phu Vong, where we had a round vermicelli noodle soup dish called bún bò. We hopped back on the drivers' motorbikes, weaved through a chaos of traffic to District 5's Trang Tu Market, similar to the Ben Thanh Market in the city, but the prices here aren't marked up as much. Since this is a food tour, our third stop was a goat hot pot place called Lao De De Ngat. We savored goat barbecue and grilled vegetables, and became the center of attention playing a game that required strength and trust of our family members. The atmosphere was lively and in the outdoors. We were then taken far out to District 7, a neighborhood with less motorbikes and more cars, known to be for the higher class. You can tell the difference by the modern architectures of the area. We stopped here to visit the beautiful Starlight Bridge Park. And yes, it has a colorful bridge that stretches about 1/10 of a mile long. 7 LED lights illuminate the bridge at night. And again, we became the center of attention playing another family game on the bridge. We ended the night with more food, a popular seafood joint back in the city called Uk Wen. Some of us, well, just me, Trizzy, don't eat seafood, and XO Tours accommodated that restriction by serving a few hefty meat plates. So much for just one person. But back to the main dishes. There were clams, crab, fertilized duck egg, tofu soybean dessert. We ate a lot for a tour that lasted about 5 hours, and each place had a generous portion for each dish. At the end of the tour, they dropped us back at our starting point. This food tour was everyone's favorite activity. We rode around and ate like a local in such a unique fashion. Because our tour was private, each person cost about $112 USD. But if you want to do it as a tour group with others, prices start at $82 USD per adult. We'll leave a link to their website where you can book in the description. The next day, we all opted in for a facial and another massage. This place was called Spa San Lan. We were prepping ourselves for a wedding the next day, so this was the way to go. This was our third massage of the trip. You're in Asia, why not? Because the Saigon Center Mall had so many great food options, we went back to eat some snails, also known as escargot, a food item that has been a part of Vietnamese culture for thousands of years. To complement the snails, we ordered bun sale, a Vietnamese savory, yellow crepe-like dish, colored with turmeric, filled with fresh veggie, meat, and/or seafood, wrapped with lettuce, and dipped in fish sauce. One of our favorite Vietnamese street food delicacies. And for dessert, we got some Hokkaido baked cheese tart. And for those who wanted to eat the odorful fruit, durian did. Since the wedding was the next day, we'll only leave you with this. If you want a place to party, go to Zion Sky Lounge and Dining. On to the next and final day. Our last dose of authentic Vietnamese food for under $5 USD. We had all that at the Nap Cafe. We took a Grab back to the airport where we spent an overnight in Manila before we returned to our home base in Los Angeles. This was a week in Vietnam, and we barely scratched the surface. Every inch of that country has history that would take a lifetime to learn about. Each place has its own beauty, so we plan to visit again and dive deeper into Vietnam, whether it be in the major cities or the outskirts. Thanks for adventuring with us to Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. If you want to come on more adventures with us, hit that bell and subscribe button to get notified.
Let's go!
Come on!